Hello and welcome to today's session on contract breach, termination and damages. We're going to be spending the majority of this session talking about tactics when it comes to terminating contracts and when it comes to responding to potential termination of contracts. My name's Joe Al-Kayat. I'm a barrister specialising in commercial law. And as you'll see, hopefully on the screen in front of you, we're going to be splitting this session into four areas. So first of all, we're going to spend about 10, 15 minutes or so setting the scene. We'll be looking at a bit of a refresher about termination, both commercially, but also legally, of course, in common law and contractual matters. We'll be looking at what motivates terminations and all the reasoning that commercial clients might have for finishing a relationship. And then we'll go a little bit more deeply into the common law termination rights. So this would be repudiatory breaches versus the contractual termination provisions that we tend to see. So typically termination for convenience, termination for cause, provisions of that nature. So having set the scene, we will then move into termination tactics. And we have about 8 areas that we're going to cover when it comes to termination tactics, right from looking at the appropriate quantum that you're seeking, whether it's repudiatory, so involving loss of bargain, or whether it's prescribed under the contract, all the way to making your decision to elect. So that's going to be to affirm the contract or accept the repudiation, or considerations that one has in relation to that. And we'll also be looking at some of the common pitfalls in relation to some of these tactics, which lawyers still fall foul of time and time again, because this is a complicated area and it's a high stakes area. Once we've explored in detail some of those termination tactics, which will be the vast majority of this presentation, we'll then just have a very brief case law update, because at the time of recording this presentation, there are some interesting Court of Appeal decisions, and one in particular that I think will be useful for us to look at in more detail. And then at the end of the session, we shall wrap up and provide some key takeaways and conclusions, which will hopefully provide actionable and practical steps that you can take when considering or responding to the termination of a contract